Xacto blade, craft knife, hobby knife. This is actually one of the most important tools you will use, as well as the most dangerous ones. All we need to know is a little bit about it to avoid slicing our fingers off and getting stitches. So this is the Xacto blade. It opens up at the collar, you spin it off, right? It comes right out. Notice that there's only one opening there. It comes in here. Every time you use it, you're going to want to tighten it up and make sure it's tight. Otherwise, it's going to wiggle it around. This is an Excel blade. It's a competitor. Opens up from the back. And if you check it out, there's 4 openings there. That's going to hold your blade a little bit more tighter. The other thing that's nice about this as well is that you notice there's a hex on the back. So what that means is when it goes on a flat surface and rolls, it actually stops. Whereas the Xacto is going to roll right off your desk. Don't step on this thing. I have. So with that in mind, you always want to make sure you have a sharp tip. And sometimes you can tell, first off, by how the tip cuts, if it's sharp enough. If it's not sharp, it's going to drag through your paper. It's going to take a few more times to cut as well. The other things, if you look at the tip starts to break off, right, in a parallel. Means that your knife is getting really, really dull. So let's take a look at how this works. Now, whenever you replace a blade, put it in a piece of tape, right? You're gonna throw this in the garbage. Someone's gonna go in to change the garbage. They're gonna slice their finger right open. So you just put it in a piece of tape, fold it over. You can also keep a little bottle on your desk, put the blades on, screw the bottle, throw the bottle out. There is also, if you get a pack of Xacto blades, there's a little area there that you can put your blades in. That's never worked for me, but it does work for some people. So when you use this blade, you're always going to want to be on a cutting mat. If you're not on a cutting mat, you're going to slice right through and damage your table. If you don't have a cutting mat, use a piece of cardboard. When you have your cutting mat, okay, I'll show you the cutting mat I have underneath there. It is full of paint. It's full of crap. When I cut onto that and I start using my blade, I'm going to go all over that paint, all over that glue. It's going to run through my blade real quick. So I like to keep actually a clean cutting mat for myself. I also like to use a metal ruler. The reason I use a metal ruler is that when I use this on a plastic ruler, it's going to slice through that ruler. You're going to start to shave off parts of that plastic. It's doable, but you really want to make sure that you are parallel against your side as opposed to coming at an angle. Okay. Best part about cutting mats, protect your table, as well as they have a built-in alignment. When you put your page right up against those edges, you are square. You don't have to worry about taking any measurements or squaring out your page. I never cut with the ruler down. There's a piece of cork that's a gap. Because of that gap, I have less contact with the surface, which means I have more room for wiggling around and more room for error, right? I'm locked into position. Come in. Now I see students come in and hold this like a pencil. This is not a pencil, okay? If you're holding up here, it's going to be very awkward to cut. So you want to back up off that blade, right? My blade is parallel to the edge of the ruler. Right? I'm not cutting like this, right? I'm not cutting like this. Cutting about at a 45-degree angle. I actually put my finger out, my pinky out to stabilize myself. Now, before I cut, I always want to be aware where my body is, where my body position is. I tell people to stand up when you cut, right? Because your body weight is evenly distributed, right? You have a little bit more control when you're over your work as opposed to sitting on the side of your work. Always make sure where my fingers are, right? Right now my finger is in my cutting path. That means I'm getting sliced. I'm going straight to the emergency room. Not the case. We don't need that, right? So I'm stable. I'm backed up off that side with a little bit of pressure, right? This isn't about hammering pressure at all. This is a little bit of pressure doing multiple cuts, right? Right? There we see how we're doing. You get a clean, beautiful, crisp cut.